engineer graduation is 10 times of United States. This huge talent pool provides solid support for China's science and technological developments. The results of high level of R&D investment and high volume of graduates have resulted in technological breakthroughs in China. So for the Natural Index in 2024, China has ranked first globally for 5 consecutive years with natural indexes. So I've noticed last year, the South China Morning Post published a sensational article with the title, Sichuan University has beat MIT and Stanford in terms of natural index. They put a list, Nature magazine has put up a list of natural index rankings. The top 10 universities with only one university from the United States, Harvard University. The number 2 to number 10, all from China, with Sichuan University ranks 10th, beating MIT and Stanford. So among the natural publication groups, the highly referenced papers, China is ranking second globally in 2023. As patent applications, China has filed 1.6 million applications in 2023, ranks number 1 globally. In terms of 5G patents, China accounted for 40% of global share, leading in the world. About 5G patents, Chinese companies accounted for 35% of global patents, which is also putting China in lead. Those are the 3 areas I want to share with you today. That is why BRI is so important to Nepal. Because by joining the BRI initiative, Nepal is not about building a road, railway, or airport, or exporting some thermal-treated buffalo meat, or welcoming more tourism from China. By signing up for BRI, Nepal is integrating into a global network of progress with China in the center. Be it infrastructure connectivity, be it trade connectivity, be it industrial developments, be it knowledge sharing. So I want to congratulate Nepalese government and Nepalese community by signing up for the BRI initiative. Nepal has successfully secured a position for future development, future cooperation with China, and future prosperity for your young generations. Yesterday, I saw a Twitter goes viral in Nepal. Some high school students shouting slogans of bring lights to Nepal. But I think shouting slogans does not resolve any problems. By doing concrete work under the BRI framework will resolve the problem and secure the bright future, not only for our friends sitting today, but also for the young generation still sitting in schools. It is our duty to engage the cooperation between China and Nepal under the BRI framework in the right way. It is our duty to start working. It is our duty to embrace Chinese technology, Chinese market, Chinese wisdom, Chinese initiatives, including BRI, because that will bring a more bright future for Nepal and for Nepal's economy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Chen Song, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Nepal, for his excellent presentation, particularly providing us insights into BRI and also demystifying some of the concepts of BRI and why BRI matters to Nepal, providing that strategic vision in terms of why it matters. In particular, like he said, BRI is a public good to co-develop and co-prosper, to connect all countries and in infrastructure and trade. And also that optimism in terms of making Nepal from a landlocked country to a land-linked country. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, for an excellent presentation and the optimistic view of how Nepal could benefit from the BRI initiative. Now, proceeding further with our program today, I would like to call upon Honorable Jhalanath Khanal, former Prime Minister of Nepal, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to extend my thanks to His Excellency Ambassador for his very inspiring, very informative, innovative, and practical speech. And I would like to go through my speech now. A very good morning and namaste. Welcome to all. Sabailai swagat gardachu. The chairperson of Kasthamandap Dialogue Series First, Dr. B.K. Mansingh, the chief guest of the opening ceremony, Right Honorable Devraj Ghimire, the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Nepal, His Excellency Chen Song, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Nepal, Honorable Members of Parliament, professors and experts from China and Nepal, leaders from different political parties, and dear participants and journalists. It is my great honor and privilege to address the esteemed gathering today regarding the historical initiative of Kasthamandap Dialogue Series First, with the inherent slogan of connecting ideas, shaping future. Under the banner of Foundation for Peace, Development and Socialism, the theme of the Kasthamandap Dialogue is the BRI meets Nepal, a prosperous future of Nepal-China cooperation. Encapsulates the vision of fostering a collaborative and mutually beneficial relationship between Nepal and China through the Belt and Road Initiative. This dialogue aims to explore the opportunities and potential that the BRI brings to Nepal, focusing on infrastructure development, trade facilitation, and economic growth. I am fully confident that this dialogue will have a long-lasting impact in the circles of national and international think tanks, policymakers, politicians, and society as a whole. The series first of the Kasthamandap Dialogue primarily focus on the Belt and Road Initiative, a global development initiative launched by His Excellency Xi Jinping, the President of China, in 2013. This initiative represents a new model of global cooperation, connectivity, and partnership. Its main objective is to promote global trade growth, economic development by developing infrastructure and expanding trade relations among participating countries across Asia, Europe, Africa, and the world. By modernizing the ancient Silk Route the BRI aims to usher in a new era of global trade with significant investment in infrastructure projects such as roads, railways, ports, and bridges, etc., etc. This initiative enhances connectivity and relationship among people, communities, nations, regions, and belts worldwide, fostering mutual understanding and cooperation. To achieve this mission, the BRI has outlined 5 key objectives: infrastructure development, which aims to improve transportation and energy system; trade facilitation, which promotes multilateral trade and economic integration; financial investment and integration, which focuses on financial cooperation and sustainable financial system; people-to-people relations, which strengthens cultural exchange, educational cooperation and tourism; and policy coordination, which encourages the coordination of policies and development plans among participating countries. Distinguished friends, I would like to briefly describe the historical journey of the BRI over the past 11 years. The BRI has expanded its reach to more than 150 countries, involving approximately 75% of the world population. This ambitious initiative has signed over 3,000 projects with a staggering investment of $1.4 billion in various infrastructure and development projects. As I have got this information, last year I participated in the 10th anniversary of BRI in Beijing. Countries participating in the BRI collectively account for more than 50% of the world GDP. Furthermore, mutual trade among BRI countries has exceeded $5 trillion, highlighting the initiative's profound impact on global trade and economic integration. The BRI has also been a significant boon for economic growth and infrastructure development, particularly in third world countries like Nepal. BRI aims to establish new dimension of development globally by promoting high quality infrastructure, trade facilitation, and economic growth in participating countries. This initiative seeks to expand global quality development by investing in advanced infrastructure projects, enhancing trade networks, and fostering economic integration. By doing so, the BRI not only drives regional connectivity, but also contributes to the overall growth and prosperity of nations involved. Through collaborative efforts and strategic investments, the BRI is paving the way for the more interconnected, dynamic, and resilient global economy. Distinguished participants, now I would like to focus on the efforts between Nepal and China concerning the Belt and Road Initiative Agreement. In 2017, Nepal officially signed the BRI agreement with China, joining this significant initiative. For 7 years, following the Nepal-China agreement, the cooperation between our two countries has not been fast, but is comparatively slow. However, in 2019, the Oli government presented 35 projects under the BRI, but after the consultation, it was reduced to single digits, resulting in the presentation of 9 projects. In 2021, China presented the BRI Framework Implementation Plan to further guide the cooperation and implementation of the initiative with Nepal. Finally, during PM Oli's tenure, despite facing numerous disputes in Nepal, a significant agreement was ultimately reached. This BRI framework agreement is an important agreement. This agreement has ignited a renewed sense of hope among the people of Nepal, inspiring them to embark on a path of new cooperation for development and progress. This signing could pave the way for a renewed collaboration and progress in infrastructure and trade development projects, including the trans-Himalayan connectivity between Nepal and China under the BRI. As I remember, when His Excellency Xi Jinping, the President of China, had visited Nepal, at that time he had proposed to build trans-Himalayan connectivity so that Nepal could be turned from a landlocked country into a land-linked country. The central element of that connectivity of that proposal was to build a modern railway connectivity from Chinese border to Kathmandu. It would be a great breakthrough in connecting China and South Asia, the most populous region of this globe. But the present government could move in this direction or not. We hope the government could move very fast in this direction. It has to be seen in the future also. Distinguished friends, I would like to briefly mention some countries' response following the signing of the BRI framework agreement between Nepal and China. Both India and United States expressed dissatisfaction with the BRI agreement. The Indian media strongly opposed the agreement, voicing concern and criticism. Furthermore, the US expressed its objections with Donald Lu, the minister, a representative visiting Nepal to articulate this concern. This international response highlights the differing perspective and geopolitical considerations surrounding the Belt and Road Initiative. Likewise, since the very beginning, there was a serious political debate among the political parties of Nepal too. Additionally, some leaders are firm on not taking loans from China under any circumstances and only accepting grants. This perspective on national needs and interests. When it comes to grant, partnership, concessional loans, and commercial loans, Nepal should be skillful to select and negotiate projects with practical and rational choices. By embracing a balanced and forward-looking approach, Nepal can harness the benefits of the BRI to achieve sustainable development and economic growth. Distinguished friends, in conclusion, I would like to emphasize the importance of the Belt and Road Initiative as a global development project. The BRI presents an unprecedented opportunity for the development of Nepal in different sectors, including infrastructure development that we have been waiting for centuries. Contrary to some misconception, the BRI is not a deep trap project in our analysis and in our conclusions. It has been a boon for the majority of countries in the world. It is an opportunity for us to achieve significant progress and prosperity. We, as Nepalese, should consider this initiative seriously and recognize its potential benefits. Throughout this dialogue, we are privileged to have renowned professors and experts in the field of BRI and international relations from China. I would like to welcome you from my heart, and I hope you will contribute a lot for bringing a very good conclusion for Nepal too. They are here to address all aspects of doubt and queries. If there may be any queries, there are many journalists also before us. They may make questions to you, and I request you to address those questions. We have here prominent political leaders, Nepalese professors, and experts. They will also share their insights on the BRI, providing a comprehensive understanding of the initiative. I hope you all will keenly participate in the today session, make a maximum contribution to bring a conclusion about this great project and gain valuable knowledge through the debate and insights from the Kasthamandap dialogue series first, which will provide a guideline for the future development of cooperation between our two countries, Nepal and China. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honored Chalanath Sir, our former Prime Minister, for his very informative and inspiring keynote speech, and for providing us that background of the BRI initiative, the relevance of BRI for Nepal, and some of the key issues and challenges. Particularly, he made reference to the historical journey of BRI over the last 12 years, with the investment of more than $1.4 trillion and see BRI as a new dimension of development, particularly for infrastructure, trade network, fostering integration of trade and collaborative efforts. He also talked about BRI initiative between Nepal and China with insights into the BRI framework agreement, which is a renewed sense of hope for revived collaboration in connectivity and trade for Nepal, and in particular reference to the trans-Himalayan connectivity. So thank you very much, sir, for your very excellent and inspiring speech. Now, I have the honor to call upon our chief guest, Right Honorable Devraj Kimire, sir, Speaker, House of Representatives of Nepal, for his address.
कार्यक्रमका अध्यक्षज्यू, पूर्व प्रधानमन्त्री झलनाथ खनालज्यू, नेपालका लागि चिनिया राजदूत चेन सोङज्यू, चीन र नेपालबाट यहाँ उपस्थित हुनुभएका प्रबुद्ध वर्ग, मिडियाकर्मी साथीहरू र उपस्थित महिला तथा सज्जनवृन्द, BRI meets Nepal of Prosperous Future of Nepal-China Cooperation विषयक काष्ठमण्डप डायलग नामक संवाद कार्यक्रममा सहभागी हुन पाउँदा खुसी लागेको छ। काष्ठमण्डप डायलग सिरिज अन्तर्गतको पहिलो छलफल कार्यक्रमले नेपाल-चीन सम्बन्धका नयाँ सम्बन्धहरूको खोजी गर्न महत्त्वपूर्ण अवसर प्रदान गर्ने विश्वास लिएको छु। म कार्यक्रम सफलताको शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्दै आगामी संवाद कार्यक्रमको पनि निरन्तरताको शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु। नेपाल र जनवादी गणतन्त्र चीन बीच कूटनीतिक सम्बन्ध स्थापना भएको 70औं वार्षिक उत्सव मनाइरहँदा आयोजना भएको यो कार्यक्रमको महत्त्व थप बढेर गएको महसुस भएको छ। यस संवाद कार्यक्रममा उच्च राजनीतिक व्यक्तित्व, कूटनीतिज्ञ, व्यवसायी, शिक्षाविद, सञ्चारकर्मी लगायत विभिन्न प्रबुद्ध व्यक्तित्वहरूको उपस्थितिले यसको गरिमा बढाउनुको साथै यसको राम्रो समीक्षा भएर नेपालले बढीभन्दा बढी लाभान्वित हुने निष्कर्ष निकाल्ने मैले आशा गरेको छु। हाम्रा दुई देश बीच विद्यमान आर्थिक, सामाजिक, सांस्कृतिक सम्बन्धलाई थप प्रगाढ तुल्याउन आजको कार्यक्रमले उल्लेखनीय भूमिका निर्वाह गर्ने कुरामा म विश्वस्त रहेको छु। नेपाल र चीन बीच सदियौं पुरानो एवं निकट मित्रवत र सहयोगात्मक सम्बन्ध रहिआएको छ। हाम्रो सम्बन्ध गहिरो, सद्भावपूर्ण र बहुआयामिक छ, जुन आपसी विश्वासको बलियो जगमा निर्माण भएको छ। भौगोलिक र सांस्कृतिक समानताहरूका साथै जनस्तरको सम्बन्धले हाम्रो द्विपक्षीय सम्बन्धलाई थप मजबुत पार्दै लगेको छ। 7 दशक अघि सन् 1955 मा कूटनीतिक सम्बन्ध स्थापना भए यता नेपाल चीन बीचको मैत्रीपूर्ण सम्बन्ध निरन्तर विकसित र सुदृढ हुँदै आइरहेको छ। शान्तिपूर्ण सहअस्तित्वका 5 सिद्धान्तहरू अर्थात् पञ्चशीलद्वारा निर्देशित हाम्रो द्विपक्षीय सम्बन्ध असल छिमेकीपन, आपसी साझेदारी र सम्मानका साथै अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय मूल्य र मान्यतामा आधारित रहेको छ। हामी बीचको यस्तो सुमधुर सम्बन्धलाई थप सुदृढ र घनीभूत तुल्याउँदै लैजान हामी सदा तत्पर रहँदै आएका छौँ। एक चीन सिद्धान्तलाई दृढतापूर्वक पालना गर्नुका साथै यसप्रतिको नेपालको प्रतिबद्धता बलियो रहिआएको कुरा म स्पष्ट पार्न चाहन्छु। चीन विगत लामो समयदेखि नेपालको एक भरपर्दो महत्त्वपूर्ण विकास साझेदार मुलुकको रूपमा रहिआएको छ। नेपाल सरकार र नेपाली जनता चिनिया सरकार र जनताका तर्फबाट नेपालको विकास प्रयासमा हुँदै आएको सहयोग र सहकार्यका लागि आभारी रहेका छन् भन्ने कुरा पनि मैले महसुस गरेको छु। नेपाल र चीनको ऐतिहासिक सम्बन्ध आपसी विश्वास, समझदारी र मैत्रीपूर्ण सहकार्यमा आधारित छ। बेल्ट एन्ड रोड इनिसिएटिभ्स BRI मार्फत दुवै देशबीचको सहकार्य अझै मजबुत हुँदै गएको छ। यो पहल नेपालका लागि केवल पूर्वाधार विकासको माध्यम मात्र नभई आर्थिक वृद्धिका नयाँ ढोकाहरू खोल्ने अवसरको रूपमा लिनुपर्छ भन्ने मेरो दृढ मान्यता रहेको छ। नेपाल आफ्नो भौगोलिक अवस्थालाई उपयोग गर्दै ट्रान्जिट हबको रूपमा स्थापित हुन सक्दछ। यसका लागि दुवै देशबीच भौतिक पूर्वाधार विकास, सडक, रेलमार्ग, ऊर्जा, सूचना प्रविधि तथा व्यापारिक सहकार्यलाई प्रवर्धन गर्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता छ। नेपाल चीन सम्बन्ध केवल व्यावसायिक वा आर्थिक सहयोगमा सीमित छैन, यसले सांस्कृतिक, शैक्षिक तथा प्राविधिक हस्तान्तरणका क्षेत्रमा पनि उल्लेखनीय योगदान पुर्याउन सक्दछ। नेपालको दिगो विकासका लागि चीनसँगको सहकार्यलाई अझ प्रभावकारी बनाउँदै पारस्परिक हितका क्षेत्रमा थप लगानी गर्न आवश्यक छ। हामीले नेपालमा रहेका लगानी सम्भावनाहरूलाई सही रूपमा पहिचान गरी BRI अन्तर्गत नयाँ परियोजनाहरूलाई प्राथमिकता दिनुपर्दछ। यस प्रकारको संवाद कार्यक्रमले नेपाल चीन सम्बन्धलाई अझ सुदृढ बनाउने, द्विपक्षीय सहकार्यलाई नयाँ उचाइमा पुर्याउने र साझा समृद्धिको दिशामा अग्रसर गराउने अपेक्षा लिन सकिन्छ। म फाउन्डेसन फर पिस डेभलपमेन्ट एन्ड सोसियलिजमलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु, जसले यो महत्त्वपूर्ण विषयमा एउटा बहसको वातावरण सिर्जना गरेको छ र अध्ययन र विश्लेषण गरेर यसलाई कार्यान्वयनमा सहयोग पुर्याउने कुरामा म विश्वास राख्दछु। असल मित्र र निकट छिमेकीको रूपमा नेपालले चीनको प्रगतिमा गौरव गर्नुको साथै बृहत आर्थिक साझेदारी मार्फत चीनको अद्वितीय विकास र समृद्धिबाट लाभ हासिल गर्न चाहन्छ। यस सन्दर्भमा नेपालको विकास प्रयासमा रहेको चीनको साथ, सहयोग र सहकार्यले हामी उच्च प्रशंसा गर्न चाहन्छौँ। नेपाल सन् 2026 भित्र अल्पविकसित राष्ट्रको सूचीबाट स्तरोन्नति हुने परिप्रेक्ष्यमा सहज स्तरको उन्नति र सोको दिगोपनाका लागि समेत चीनबाट महत्त्वपूर्ण सहयोग रहने हामीले अपेक्षा गरेका छौँ। अन्त्यमा पुनः काठमाडौँ डायलग सिरिज 1 को सफलताको शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्दै नेपाल चीन साझेदारी उज्जवल भविष्यको हार्दिक शुभकामना सहित धन्यवाद ज्ञापन गर्दछु। धन्यवाद।
Thank you very much, our chief guest, Right Honorable Devraj Khemire, for his very inspiring speech that he has just provided. He is very optimistic about the relationship between Nepal and China, and that he also enlightened us with the diplomatic relationship that we cherish between Nepal and China. Nepal is very much thankful for the support from the government of China that has been received. He sees that Nepal could be a transit hub, and also both in terms of cultural as well as technical exchanges. He sees also BRI as providing an opportunity for strengthening the relationship between Nepal and China through various programs and projects related to infrastructure, related to connectivity, related to transport and trade. He sees China as a good neighbor and thus also provides that opportunity to work collectively together in cooperation, collaboration in the future. Thank you very much, sir, for your very much inspiring speech. Our Right Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives of Nepal. Now, going forward with the program, I would like to request Dr. B.K. Man Singh, the chair of this inaugural session, to present the token of appreciation to our chief guest. Thank you very much. Now, again, I would like to request Dr. B.K. Man Singh to present the token of appreciation to His Excellency Shen Song. Thank you very much. Now, we are close to the end of the program, and now I would like to request Dr. B.K. Man Singh for his closing remarks.
Thank you. The chief guest of this program, Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Sri Devraj Ghimre, Honorable Jalnath Khanal, the former Prime Minister of Nepal, special guest, His Excellency, the Ambassador of People's Republic of China in Nepal, Chen Song, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We are really privileged and honored to have you in this August gathering. I'm really delighted. I hope our distinguished guests from China will have a comfortable and memorable stay in Kathmandu. We are going to have 2 days Kathmandu Dialogues Series 1 on the theme BRI meets Nepal, a prosperous future of Nepal-China cooperation. I'm sure we are going to have very fruitful deliberation and discussion on BRI in special reference to Nepal. We have experts and scholars from both China and Nepal who have gathered here to speak about BRI. This will throw a new light to us, showing new path for the development of our country. This dialogue will help us to pave the way for all our confusion and build a national consciousness towards BRI. People's Republic of China has commendable progress for the last 3 decades in economics, science, technology, social, and other spheres of life. We are lucky to have them as our neighbor, and we should learn and follow how a nation can be progress. We can gain through our trans-Himalayan connectivity with China. We shall carefully select the project on the BRI and turn it for the progress of our people. We need to fight. We have the biggest enemy called poverty in this nation, and we need to fight against it. To overcome this let us sail on this new sea era to own, and they must be owned and used for the progress of Nepalese people. History begins anew for us, the history which we shall live and act, and others will write about it. Finally, the last but not the least, I'd like to express my deep gratitude to our Right Honorable Speaker Sri Devraj Ghimre for his valuable time spared with us. Similarly, my gratitude goes to Honorable J.N. Khanal, our former Prime Minister of Nepal, and His Excellency, the Ambassador of China in Nepal, Cheng Song, and it is all to my distinguished guests from China and all those who have here shown themselves here to make this program a success. Thank you.
So thank you very much. And before we disperse, we would like to have a group photo. And I would like to request those sitting on the first row, as well as our former ambassadors, to please come to the front for the group photo. I would also like to inform the media professionals here that there is a press meet tomorrow at 4:30 here. So tomorrow at 4:30, there is a press meet. Thank you.
तार तान्नु न म तानिदिइहाल्छु आइदिन आइदिन कि
There is refreshments served outside, and would like to request all the participants to please be back here at 11 o'clock.
You guys are leaving. Very simple. We have 2-1. Nice meeting you later. Nice meeting you, brother. Yeah, brother. That's it. Yeah. We used to go. Nice meeting you. Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think there's some typo in our schedule, I guess. So I don't know, you're 2-1, right? Yeah, we have 2-1.
But the same one is here.
So you come
this
in
one is here.
Yes.
Okay. So you are expertise on international studies. I teach political philosophy and international relations.
Oh, we're working in the same field.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
हाम्रो होइन मेरो होइन उतातिर छ हेर न गेमको मेरो त्यही टिमको ट्राई गर्छ
माथिल्लो एक तल्लामा आएको त होइन होइन केही पर्दैन अब माथिल्लो त्यो बिआरआईको कार्यक्रम कहाँ हो भनेर सोध्नु
别光说没问题，帮我一块儿看他的论文。
我可以学习。呀，这个寒假都没回来。
Those that have not taken their tea or coffee, please go and get it. Otherwise, please be seated. We are starting our session at 11. Request all of you to please either bring your tea or coffee here or be seated. Thank you. May I request all of you to be seated, please? Sabajana, seat bosnola.
I'll come back.
Sabajana, seat bosnola. Baira boyka participants pani aunus. Please, participants, take your seats and settle down. So may I request all of you to be seated again, please? Your attention, please. I know all of you are quite excited. Please kindly be seated. So, welcome back. Welcome back to the session 1. This session 1 is on understanding the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative. So in this session, we have 4 presentations, and this session is going to be moderated by Professor Dr. Yuvraj Sankraula. session, like I said, there are 4 presentations. 2 presentations from Nepal, and following that, also 2 presentations from China. The first presentation we have is from Professor Dr. Dinesh Raj Buzu. The second presentation we have is from Professor Dr. Huang Yun Song. We have a third presentation by Professor Dr. Zhang Shubin. And the fourth presentation is by Mr. Tanka Karki, former ambassador of Nepal to the People's Republic of China. So these are the 4 presentations we will have. Followed by these presentations, we are going to have discussions, open discussions, any questions, and our panelists, our presenters, will be there to respond to your queries. Now, to facilitate and moderate this particular session, we have Professor Dr. Yuvraj Sangraula. So, I would like to briefly introduce Professor Sangraula to you. Professor Sangraula has a PhD in Criminal Justice System of Nepal with special reference to legal framework and practices of interrogation, extrajudicial confession, and state of fair trial from Delhi University, India. In 2011, he served as the Attorney General of Nepal. In 2010, he was appointed by the government of Nepal as the convener of the High-Level Policy Reform Commission. He also served as an advisor to the Ministry of Home Affairs. He is also a visiting professor at Renmin University of China and other universities of South Asia. His book, Jurisprudence, The Philosophy of Law, was recognized as a world-class, and he was on the same occasion honored and recognized with SARC Law Scholar Award. He has written several books and extensively on jurisprudence, human rights, political process, and constitutional making. So he has a very, very interesting and rich profile. But before I hand over this particular session to Professor Sangraula, I certainly would like to request all participants to be seated and be quiet. Can we have that, please? Can you please be seated and be quiet? The session will not start unless we have all of you seated, as well as maintain silence. Well, thank you. It's a little bit better than earlier. So I would like to now hand over this session to Dr. Professor Yuvraj Sangraula and call upon all the 4 presenters. Over to you, Professor Sangraula.
Thank you very much. I would like to invite panelists to the next. We have Dinesh Raj Buzu, and we have Thank you. And we also have Zhang Shubin. And former ambassador to China from Nepal, Tanka Karki, Honorable. Tanka Karki. I think as he is still not available. So to begin with, I would like to welcome all of you to this very important session where we particularly will be discussing on the very historical and philosophical aspects of BRI. Okay. And this is definitely a very important, and we have two very prominent speakers from China. And also we have a speaker who also has a very great experience in China from Nepal. And Bujuji also is very learned scholar. Please, you're welcome. So, let me first introduce the panelists. So the first speaker we have is Dinesh Raj Bujuji. Professor Dinesh Buju is a research scientist, educator, and advocate for science. He is an academician at Nepal Academy of Science and Technology and honorary at Mid-Western University, Nepal, and invited professor at Northwest University in Xi'an, China since 2018. Professor Buju initiated ecological studies of Chure Hills and dendroclimatology in Nepal, Himalaya. He played a key role in establishing Hope College, serving as a founding principal. He also coordinated drafting of Nepal's National Science 209 and led preparation of Nepal's Science and Technology Report 2021. A doctorate of Chiba University, Japan, Professor Buju lectures on ecology, sustainability, and the philosophy of science and universities in China, Colombia, Italy, Poland, and Nepal. He has authored hundreds of scientific articles and contributed to numerous books and book chapters. One of the pioneering science communicators in the region, he is also a popular science radio commentator. He has been known as a very prominent academician in Nepal. So this much introduction would probably be clear, not more than that. So I would like to invite you first to speak. Would you like to sit down? Okay, that's fine.
Namaste. Good morning, Baki Sarji. Thank you so much for the introduction and inviting me, Professor Sangrola, the moderator of this session. My respected Comrade J.N. Khanal, the former Prime Minister of Nepal, who has cordially invited me and all of you to attend this very important event today. पछाडि बस्ने साथीहरूलाई मेरो हार्दिक निवेदन छ। अघि पनि हाम्रो आयोजक साथीहरूले अनुरोध गर्नुभएको छ, कृपया बसिदिनु होला र सुनिदिनु होला।
Hello.
आजको कार्यक्रम
our colleagues in the back side, The noise is really disturbing, so please could you come in front and start talking? It's very noisy and it's really difficult to make the presentation.
Professor sir, Nepali mai bhulidinu bhakari chhe हजुरले आजको कार्यक्रम विदेशी पाहुनाहरू पनि हुनुभएकोले नेपालीमा नगरी अङ्ग्रेजीमा गरिएको छ। कृपया उहाँहरूको सम्मानको लागि पनि यो अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय भाषाबाट सञ्चालन हुने सेसनमा ध्यान दिएर सुनिदिनुला भनेर म पुनः एकचोटि आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु। यदि यहाँहरूलाई साँच्चैकै छलफल गर्नु छ र कुराकानी भेटेको होला धेरै दिनपछि बाहिर चियासँगै छलफल गर्नु भए पनि हुन्छ। कृपया हलमा चाहिँ धेरै परदेखि आउनु भएको छ विदेशी पाहुनाहरू, उहाँहरूको सम्मानको लागि र प्रस्तुति दिनेहरूको पनि अनुरोध सुनेर अलि मौन बसिदिनु होला भन्ने मेरो आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु। So, with the permission of the moderator, who is also chairing this session, I would like to proceed ahead. I am privileged to make this presentation as the first presenter of this technical session. I have accepted this invitation with my deep gratitude, however, with humility. Honestly, I was a bystander of Belt and Road Initiative. I was an observer, staying at the last bench of the class of BRI. And I was thinking, BRI was not a cup of my tea for many years. Though I have been visiting Xi'an, the starting point of Silk Road in the history, since 2018. BRI has only been my area of interest, but not expertise. At this moment, I am given 20 minutes to speak on BRI, which has a history of more than 2,000 years, spanning tens of thousands of miles of networks, reaching more than 150 countries in the world. It's a great story, which is also known as New Silk Road. I have entitled my presentation, the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, a New Silk Road, vision of time, trade, and togetherness. Time, I wanted to speak a little bit touching upon the history of the BRI, how it has been remodeled from the ancient Silk Road. Trade for me is an exchange of goods and services. which includes not only the money, the exchange of checks, money, but more than that, ideas, culture, science, technology, and innovation, and finally the togetherness, a vision of togetherness where we see the future of shared human communities. For me, the Belt and Road Initiative is more than just infrastructure and trade. Let me reinstate, BRI is a vision for a shared global future and more prosperous humanity. At its core, the BRI weaves together a network and interconnection, more lands and maritime routes, facilitating the movement of people, the exchange of science, technology, culture, ideas, societies, and civilization. So much like the ancient Silk Road, the BRI served as a conduit for the transmission of religion, languages, philosophies, and artistic tradition. As I can see here, we have now two pictures, the ancient Silk Road and the modern BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative. The BRI is rooted in the philosophy of a global community with a shared future. This vision was championed by President Xi Jinping of China. Interestingly, the concept of BRI first emerged not in a political or economic or trade consortium. It first emerged in an academic circles. It first mentioned the shared future of humanity in his speech at the Moscow State Institute of International Relations in March 2030. And he first mentioned about Silk Road, a new Silk Road, at the gathering of Nazarbayev University in Astana, Kazakhstan, again in 2030. You can find both the addresses either in Xinhua Institute's website. For me, I found it in the website of the Tokyo University of Japan. President Xi was deeply interested. He was deeply influenced by Silk Road because he grew up near Xi'an, a small rural village called Yanchuan. In his speech at Astana, he retold how the Emperor Wu of Han 2,000 years ago asked and sent his envoy Chang Qian on a mission to Central Asia to seek peace and forge alliances. It was the time when there was war, hostility, and banditry were rampant. It was an extraordinary challenge with treacherous landscapes, vast deserts, yet Chang Qian successfully completed his mission, though he fell in the first attempt, but he was successful in the second attempt. At the moment when he gave his address, President Xi mentioned very interesting and deeply philosophical sentence, a Kazakh statement. He said, "The history of land is the history of its people." So as I mentioned, this is the picture of the envoy Chang Qian, who went to Central Asia with a message of Wu of Han. And the road he made became later the Silk Road. The Silk Road in the history, it was a remarkable more than 6,000 kilometer trade route linking China, the Middle East and Europe. Later it also linked India, Pakistan, Nepal and many other countries in Southeast. It facilitated the exchange of goods and commodities between these regions. But significantly, it was a hub of cross-cultural interaction and intellectual exchange. The Buddhism, which is practiced in China by the majority of its people, reached to China from Nepal and India via Silk Road. Had there was no Silk Road, there was no possibility of Buddhism reaching China. A Buddhist scholar, Xuanzang, we call him Wensang in Nepal, is a part of our school curriculum, who had been to India and also Nepal. He went back to China after a travel of 15 years long, visiting Nalanda, learning Pali language, and then translating the Buddhist sutras. As a testimony to this knowledge transfer, there is a pagoda, white big goose pagoda in Xi'an, where I have been working for the last 6 or 7 years. Not only that, Apple, Xiao, which is part of our diets today, was also disseminated from the Silk Road. Perhaps you are aware, Astana, the capital city of Kazakhstan, means the city or settlement which is near Apple. So Apple was also transported through the Silk Road. Not only that, many of the pets, especially the cats, Biral, which is a therapeutic animal, so cute and loved by millions of people in the world today, was also transported through Silk Road some 1400 years ago. This was revealed recently by a scientific studies. In China, they have 70 million cats today, 7 crore biralaharu छन्. And they were actually a gift of the Central Asia to the noble people in the past, and now it has become a pet at household. So this is how Silk Road played a great role in exchange of not only the goods and trade, but also made a part of the life.
Professor Bozul, could you finish your presentation in 5 minutes?
Sure. So moving forward, the Silk Road created opportunities. The history of Silk Road ended almost after the Industrial Revolution. As you can see here, in these 300 years, the total wealth of humanity, world wealth, it increased from mere 2 trillion to more than 100 trillion. The GDP per capita today is $12,000 US per person, which was nearly $600 300 years ago. Also, the lifespan of the humanity, which was nearly 35 years till 200 years ago, now it is more than 70. So that's the progress made by humanity. However, there is disparity. The disparity is that the global south have less than $5,000 per annum, while the north rich countries, they have more than $57,000. It is said the world's more than 70% of wealth is amassed by the north rich countries. But whose wealth is that? They were all collected from the so-called South poor countries. So, we need to change it. We have to bring a change here. Given this backdrop, a new Silk Road became essential. Thankfully, China took a lead and brought this idea of the BRI. The next interesting part of the Silk Road, and in the new Silk Road of the BRI, is that I'm taking an example of Christmas. The Christmas decorations and gifts are among the most coveted items for the children in the West, especially America and Europe. It's a part of the Christianity, it's a part of the Christian religion. But you know, more than 90% of the Christmas gifts are produced by Chinese people who are or who believe in Buddhism, who are in a country of secular. That's another very interesting part. Only China can do it without a prejudice of any religion through the BRI. Very recently, China organized a science, technology, and innovation conference, and the role of BRI, and thus the scientific research, technology development, and innovation have become a crucial pillar of the BRI. For example, through this, more than 80 countries have already signed bilateral agreements. And there are 50 research laboratories and 70 technology innovation parks in making. Just a simple example of Kenya, which is producing its flora with the help of BRI. More interestingly, the countries like Pakistan, Azerbaijan, and even UAE the United Arab Emirates. They are working with China under the BRI project to reach to the moon by 2030. In 2019, the scientific journal Nature assessed research progress in BRI participating countries. It concluded that those countries involved in BRI were making significant strides in science, technology, and innovation. More than 26,000 young scientists from the global south have already taken research training in China, and every year they are getting more than 300 PhD scholarships, which are taught in Chinese academic sciences and also in the TWAS, that is the third World Academic Sciences. Thus, while the wealthy nations are curtailing, reducing their involvement in science and technology, China's sustaining investment in research through the BRI is reshaping the global scientific landscape. So finally, let me conclude that the BRI has long been symbolized humanity's natural inclination towards movement, trade, and cultural exchange. It represents a modern continuation of this legacy, fostering a global, interconnected future built on shared prosperity. As the 21st century unfolds, the initiative stands as a testament to the enduring power of connectivity in shaping civilization and fostering global progress. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much for your very excellent and very research-based presentation. Since we are running time, I will go very quickly. So I would like to invite Professor Wang Yongshou. He is a professor and associate dean at the School of International Studies, deputy director of the Institute of South Asian Studies, and coordinator of China Center for South Asian Studies, Sichuan University. Professor Wang has field research scholarship in Pakistan, India, and the US. He did his postdoctoral research in international law at the University of Michigan Law School. His research focuses on China diplomacy, South Asian studies, international relations, and international law. His current research projects includes improving China's relation and China's boundary issue, etc. He serves as a member of the Council of China National Association for International Studies and executive member of the Council of People's Republic of China Association for Diplomatic History Studies and executive member of the Council of China Association for South Asian Studies. So the floor is yours, Professor Wang.
So thank you very much, Chair, for the kind introduction of me. So I would begin by saying that after the end of this pandemic, 3 years ago, I became a frequent visitor of Kathmandu, and I maintain this, very good feeling about this great country, this great people, and I feel it's kind of my responsibility to maintain this high level, communication with you, trying my best to explain what.
Be loud.
Okay, I speak up. To explain to my friends and colleagues about what BRI is. As a matter of fact, this line of work I have been doing for many years, ever since 2014. In the first place, I was trying to explain what BRI is to Indian professionals and colleagues in New Delhi. But I finally gave up on that endeavor because I know it will not fructify. So let's forget about it. But when I'm requested to come over to Kathmandu to do my job, explaining to you what BRI is really about, I feel thrilled. I feel it's a privilege. It's kind of high-level trust between me and my friends here in Kathmandu. I really appreciate it, and I want to thank Honorable former Prime Minister Kanal for inviting me and talk to you about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will keep my speech short, and I know I'm kind of, sort of person that is known for being frank and forthright. Sometimes you may find my speech to be offensive, but that's not my intention. I want to say that I speak in my own capacity. That means I don't speak for my government, but I will share in a very frank sense about my understanding of what BRI is really about. So, today we are gathered here to address the issue of profound importance, to discuss on what BRI is really about, as well as the future of this great country, its economic survival and prosperity, and to assess a critical opportunity that's lying in front of you and you really cannot afford to ignore any longer. This is not just a theoretical discussion about international development. It is a matter of survival, a matter of whether Nepal remains trapped in stagnation or chooses to embrace the winds of change that are blowing across Asia and the world. Let me begin by framing the conversation under the BRI, which was launched in 2013. BRI is not a geopolitical tool. It is a fundamental reshaping of global development dynamics spanning Asia, Africa, and Europe. It is aimed to create a vast network of infrastructure, connectivity, and economic collaboration that has the potential to redefine the future of countries like Nepal. The Chinese government has already invested over 1.3 trillion US dollars in more than 140 countries through the BRI, with the projects that covers everything from highways, railway linkage, airports, ports, as well as energy and telecommunications. These projects are not about charity, please mark my words. It's not about charity. It is investment-driven initiative with the power to transform the economic situation of this country. But as we stand here today, Nepal finds itself at crossroads. Nepal has been an official partner of BRI since 2017, yet the country's participation in this monumental initiative has been marred by indecision, political instability, and an illusional commitment to misshaped neutrality in the face of pressing choices. In fact, Nepal's future economic trajectory hinges on the decision it makes regarding the BRI and its ability to break free from the stagnation that has plagued this country for many decades. The first point I want to touch upon is the politics of stagnation. How Nepal's political instability is holding itself back. The first obstacle Nepal faces is political instability. In the past 15 years, your country has cycled through 10 governments. 10? This is a staggering number by any standard. And it is a major reason why Nepal has failed to unlock its economic potential. Political change in Nepal is not just about leadership turnover. It is about a complete reset of policy priorities sometime. Each government coming into power with its own agenda, its own vision, and often its own set of contradictions. This kind of constant turnover has paralyzed your development. The policies are never implemented consistently enough to create long-term structural change for the well-being of your people. And this political instability discourages both domestic and foreign investors, including those from China. Nepal's instability to focus on sustained economic growth is evident. Look at the country's GDP growth rate, which is forecast to be around 2.8% this year. This is far below the global average, especially when you consider the countries like Vietnam, countries in Southeast countries. They are growing at faster pace. And this is there is a direct correlation between political instability and economic stagnation, in my opinion. Countries that have embraced long-term strategies, such as Ethiopia, Kenya in Africa, have seen their economic growth as a result of stable governance and focused infrastructure investment. They have commitments. For example, Kenya's Mombasa-Nairobi Railway, financed through BRI, have cut travel times by 70% and boosts the trade and economy within the region. In contrast, Nepal, with its unstable political environment, remains stuck in the mud, barely able to implement the most basic of infrastructure projects. In Nepal, development seems no longer a priority to some people. People are frustrated and care more about who is in power. The constant policy shifts have left this country unable to make the bold decisions necessary to transform your economies, your infrastructure, and a position on the global stage. This is not just a political issue. It is an existential issue. Nepal need to really think about it. To choose between continued political paralysis or a bold, unified commitment to development. The second point I want to talk about is the misshaped neutrality. It's about Nepal's geopolitical paradox. Apparently, it is another key issue that continues to plague Nepal. Nepal prides itself on its position as a neutral country, which we appreciated very much, claiming it to balance its relationships with China, India, and the United States. However, this so-called neutrality is an illusion, one that is simply untenable in the current geopolitical landscape. In 2015, your country suffered from the blockade by your southern neighbor, which cut off the supply of essential goods. I think you have fresh memory about it. This blockade was not just an inconvenience. It was an act of aggression. It revealed that the true power of dynamics in South Asia. Nepal is caught in a tight grip of its southern neighbor. When it claims that it can maintain neutrality, it actually lends itself to overdependence on and manipulation by India. This stance is simply not sustainable in a modern world. You're allowing yourself to be in a position like this. When Nepal engages in neutral diplomacy, it advertently subordinates its own interests to some other countries. By trying to maintain favorable relations with India and the United States and China, Nepal ends up conceding its sovereignty from time to time to the more aggressive powers. It is important to recognize that this neutral, so-called neutral stance has not led to a favorable outcome for your country. Instead, it has placed this country at the mercy of external forces, leaving Nepal with limited room for strategic choices of your own. Furthermore, Nepal has been hesitant to fully embrace Chinese investment, considering Chinese money to be red. What's wrong with being red? China takes, loans, investment from the Western countries. We don't care about it, these ideological differences. We don't care it's white or black, as long as it raises the living standards of your people and have your economy booming. What's wrong with being the color being red or white? That's nonsense. Meanwhile, the United States, I think largely due to the concerns over India's position, Nepal has been very hesitant to embrace our investment. But this is where the geopolitical miscalculation becomes evident. India has maintained an iron grip on Nepal's foreign policy and trade routes for decades, yet Nepal has remained dependent on India's goodwill, which is frequently withheld for political reasons. The United States, through MCC, has also offered aid to Nepal, but this comes with strings attached, strings that undermine Nepal's sovereignty. This MCC stipulates that any infrastructure projects funded by the US cannot involve China. Did China do the same thing to you? No. It's your own decision. We don't have strings attached to any investment. It is a classic case of aid colonialism, providing fund while imposing restrictions on Nepal's ability to chart its own course. The third point I want to talk about is the reality of BRI and what Nepal can really do about it. It is crucial to understand that BRI is not some evil scheme to impose China's dominance. Some people say that China is competing with the United States, with India, for influence on this piece of land. Yes, we're competing, but we're not competing for influence. We're competing for the sovereign independence of this country. We're competing for the economic prosperity of this country, and we're competing for the social welfare of people on this piece of land. It is crucial to understand these very basics. In fact, BRI offers Nepal the ability to break free from the dominance of other countries and become a key player in the global economy. We have this goodwill, but can you really understand us? You need to ask yourself. Nepal must recognize that BRI is not a threat. It is a lifeline. The debt trap narrative surrounding BRI has been widely misrepresented. This is not Chinese loans that causes countries to fall into trap. It is the mismanagement in most cases and the lack of transparency in local governance that leads to financial instability and crisis. Nepal must avoid the pitfalls of mismanagement in this regard and focus on the long-term benefits of strategic infrastructure investment. Let's consider some examples. Nepal's infrastructure is woefully underdeveloped. The country has a road density which is very low, 0.3 kilometer per square kilometer, which is far below than that of Afghanistan, which has gone through years of war. What are you doing? To put this in perspective, Nepal's infrastructure needs far greater investment. They are not just a few road projects or small-scale projects that are currently on the table. What Nepal really needs is a comprehensive, integrated approach to development that focuses on long-term infrastructure projects, energy independence, and connectivity with global market. The BRI can provide you that. For example, you have significant hydropower potential with the capacity to power the whole Bangladesh. What are you doing with your treasure? You're not doing much. You're not doing enough. Moreover, a railway linkage between Nepal and China under the BRI would transform the trade routes, slashing cargo costs by at least 40% and bypassing India's blockades once and for all. Nepal's strategic location between India and China gives it a unique advantage, and by leveraging the BRI, you are able to act as a hub for regional trade and connectivity. The fourth point I want to touch upon is the path forward. The path forward for Nepal is clear. The country must prioritize long-term planning, development, over political short-termism. It must embrace BRI as an opportunity for growth and diversification. That is real neutrality. And it must break free from the cycle of political instability and geopolitical manipulation. You need national consensus rather than partisan fight. Nepal needs to establish a national BRI caretaker authority, one that is immune from political shifts and focuses on the long-term development of these countries' infrastructure. The authority should be led by professionals, engineers, technocrats, economists who understand the intricacies of large-scale projects. Countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, have demonstrated the importance of this kind of, authority, a centralized authority to execute BRI projects. You can follow suit. Other thing is the energy independence. By energy independence, you can really define blockades. Nepal should prioritize the development of its hydropower potential. It is time to stop relying on imports and to start exporting power to the region, building a foundation for economic growth that will last for generations.
Can you finish in 3 minutes?
Okay, sure. I will conclude now. All right. And you need to reject aid colonialism. Don't say no to investment. Either it's loans, either it's aid. Embrace them all as long as it plays a beneficial role. To conclude, I would say that Nepal's decision on the BRI is not just an economic one. It is a decision about its future. It can continue down the path of stagnation, caught in a web of political instability, geopolitical manipulation, and aid dependency. Or it can seize the moment and embrace BRI as an opportunity, an alternative to break free from its historical constraints. Today's debate on the BRI should not be about how many Chinese projects to be included. It is Nepal's last exit from the poverty trap. I would encourage my Nepali friends to assume a more holistic and comprehensive understanding of BRI. Please build your roads, generate power, expel foreign manipulators. The 9 projects you're talking about are just a start. But only if you really stop counting and start constructing. So I will end up here. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice and very commendable presentation. So let me introduce our third panelist, Professor Connectiong. He is the director of Nepal Study Center and professor of English in School of Foreign Language at Hawaii University Economics and Business. He is also a research fellow in the Chahar Institute and Council member of Chinese Association for South Asian Studies. He has appeared on China's Central Television News program Asia Today to make comments on local Nepalese elections. He had worked in Nepal for 3 years as a Chinese language teacher and Chinese director at the Confucius Institute at Kathmandu University. He has provided commentary for all affairs on international affairs run by Chinese Foreign Ministry, the Global Times, and www.guangcha.cn. He has received numerous awards from HUEB for being excellent professor, including HUEB, Ocean Prominent Teacher, HUEB Excellent Teacher, Distinguished Teaching Achievement Winner. He had been a visiting scholar at Campbell's Isle University, Kentucky, for 1 year, and senior research fellow for half a year at Western Michigan University. He accomplished 10 research projects and published more than 30 articles. He has given many academic lectures throughout Asia and the US. I think that's all. You're very much welcome, and Professor Zhang, and we are also very old friends.
Okay, thank you.
To see you here.
Thank you so much. Now, first, I would like to say Namaste. You know, just in the year 2010, on August the 10th, I was just exactly in this regional hall to participate in the South Asia China Cultural Forum. That is the first time I came to Nepal and worked as a Chinese language teacher in Kathmandu University, Confucius Institute, for 3 years. We have already organized several programs here in the Yakyati Hotel. So this time, when I was here yesterday afternoon, and yesterday evening, and this morning after breakfast, I revisited so many beautiful places and took so many photos and make my cell phone does not work. So some of my Chinese colleagues asked me, Professor John, please tell me what is the meaning of Kasthamandap? So Kasthamandap, I searched it with AI, DeepSeek, Kimi. Kat means wood, Mandap means pavilion. Am I right? Yes. So that is another way of saying Kathmandu. More than 15 years ago, I was here promoting Chinese language and Chinese culture to Nepali students, Nepali, friends. So that is why I make my PPT in both Chinese and English. For your better understanding, maybe some of you are Chinese learners. They can, bridge the gap between Chinese language and English language, because even if I had, taught myself a whole book of Nepali language, but I cannot speak too much Nepali language. I only remember that more Nepali ho, more dimi lai my good, Danny but thank you, so on. Okay. How to use it? Oh. This is the picture. I was there. Can you find me? Just exactly this place. Okay. Now next. I can use this turner, page turner. So I think I should play as a bridge to make the Chinese better understanding, the Nepalis, and to facilitate the Nepali friends to better understand Chinese. And today is the Kathmandu dialogue about BRI. So, secondly, I would extend my sincere thanks to Right Honorable former Prime Minister Jananath Khanar. You invite me and other Chinese scholars here to share our standing about BRI. I think that is how to use it. Okay. So I take much time to prepare the PPT for your better understanding. Okay, this way. This way? That's not the work. Oh. Okay, the first part, I would like to provide you a bigger picture of China-US relationships. Now, in the year 2019, okay, President Xi Jinping paid a historical visit to Nepal and promote China-Nepal relationship to a new high level. That is the strategic partnership of cooperation featuring everlasting friendship for development and prosperity. Now next. Now in the year 2023, when the former Prime Minister Prachanda paid a visit to Beijing, to Hangzhou to attend the Asian Games opening ceremony. And then he went to Beijing and had a talk with Premier Li Qiang. And in that visit, China and Nepal decided to build together the shared future for humankind. Which one? This way? Oh. This way? This is the communicate. Altogether, there are 13 articles of the communicate. The news. The number 12 is about China and Nepal work together to build a community with a shared future for humankind, for mankind. Last year, in December, Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Ali visited China, and China and Nepal signed the framework for BRI cooperation. China Daily, the national English newspaper of China, interviewed me and quoted my opinion. You can read it. Okay, read it. This is the signing ceremony for the framework of Belt and Road Initiative cooperation. Now this signing, I think it has paved the way to implementing the BRI projects. Now what is BRI? This morning, I heard so many distinguished leaders, especially former Prime Minister Janata Khanal's inspiring speech. Now the distinguished professors and leaders, they have made very deep research and analysis about BRI. Now here, I would like again to make you, all of you, to remember and understand what exactly is BRI. B stands for belt. What belt? The Silk Road Economic Belt. Now, the R stands for road. What road? The 21st century maritime Silk Road. Altogether, that is B and R. And then initiative. About 10 years ago, in the year 2016, I was in Kathmandu to attend a seminar talking about OBOR. At first, it was named as One Belt and One Road, OBOR. And then, now it is BRI. President Xi Jinping, during his official visit to Kazakhstan, on September the 7th, 2023, he proposed the Silk Road Economic Belt. Okay. This is what's wrong. This is what he is delivering the keynote speech in Kazakhstan. And then, less than 1 month later, when he was paying a visit to Indonesia, he proposed the 21st century maritime Silk Road proposal. Now, this is the link. If you are interested to learn, to study the two initiatives, you can visit the website and learn more about that. Now, in BRI, there are 5 connects. The first one is policy coordination. The second one is infrastructure connectivity. The third one is unimpeded trade. Number 4 is financial integration. The last one, number 5, is closer people-to-people ties. I think such a program is for bringing the Chinese people's hearts and the Nepali French people's hearts closer and together. So thank you again, Prime Minister Jananath Hotel, and all of you who are here present on this dialogue. Okay. Now, President Xi gave speech to the Indonesia's parliament about the 21st century maritime Silk Road. This is the picture. Now, in Chinese, when we study and read President Xi's books, there are 3 phrases. First, 读原著, read the original words. Second, 学原文, study the original texts. And the third, 悟原理, to comprehend the underlying principles. Now, in my office, I have the 3 versions of President Xi's book. The first one, Chinese version of the Governance of China. The second one, the English. The third one is the Nepali language version. I suppose most of you, perhaps each of you have at least 1 or 2 of these volumes about President Xi's book, The Governance of China. What's wrong? What's wrong? Huh? What's wrong with it? What's wrong? Okay. This is the Chinese version. This is the Chinese version for the first article. The belt, the road. The Nepali version. Maybe you can take a photo about this. Read it carefully. This is the Nepali. This is the Nepali. This is the English. Okay, let's get back to English because I cannot speak too much Nepali language. You don't know much about Chinese language. Although we have been here for more than 15 years teaching Chinese language, I don't think many of you can understand Chinese. So I put here in both English and Chinese. Okay. What did President Xi say when he explained BRI's 5 connects for the first time? First, we need to step up policy consultation. Now, if you read it carefully, we can understand the original meaning and his profound thinking about China and the world. Okay. So for the time being, okay, I wouldn't like to read all of these. What's wrong with the PPT? Last time when I was giving a lecture in Annapurna Hotel, the power went off. This time something wrong with the... Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Next. Second, we need to improve road connections. Next. Third, we need to promote unimpeded trade. Next. Now the fourth, we need to enhance monetary circulation. Take myself, for example. Yesterday afternoon, when I get out of the plane, if we can use, the e-pay without changing the money, it will be much easier. Okay. Yesterday afternoon, when I arrived at the Tribhuvan airport, to my surprise, I found there's no personnel helping us to get the visa, only machine. You can get it online. Okay. The next. Now the fifth, we need to increase understanding between our peoples. That is what we are doing here today. Okay, next. Okay. Now this is a picture about the Belt and Road Initiative. This is the Silk Road Economic Belt. I think the picture is too small for you, especially those who are sitting in the back row, so no need to explain too much. Okay, this is the Maritime Silk Road. Next. This is a general picture. Next. Okay, when you read the picture, the maps, you cannot find South Asia. So in the year 2017, I visited Nepal and India. Now in India, I proposed to set up China, Nepal, India economics and cultural corridor. Not only economic corridor, but also cultural, because we have very deep cultural and historical connections. In China, we have more than 100 billion or more than 200 billion Buddhists. Take my wife, for example. My wife is there. Okay, she is a Buddhist. After this conference, we plan to visit Lumbini, revisit Lumbini to worship the Lord Buddha, to seek wisdom from the great Lord Buddha. Okay. Now, Lumbini is the birthplace of Lord Buddha. And, the Bodh Gaya in India is the place where Lord Buddha obtained enlightenment. In Chinese, we say, 菩提树下顿悟. Now, Sanat is the site where Lord Buddha teaches or taught his first pupils. And Kushnagar is the place where Lord Buddha renewed. These are all Buddhist holy sites. In China's Xizang autonomous region, there is the Mount Kailash and Lake Mansarovar. Now, in India and in Nepal, most people are believers of Hinduism. Now, if we three countries, China, Nepal, and India, facilitate each other people's visit to their sacred places, you can just imagine that is how large the economic, the personnel, the goods, flows. In this way, we can bring prosperity to not only Nepal, but also India and China, especially the western part of China. Okay, that is my understanding. So if the three countries work together, get rid of the bias, the zero-sum mindedness, okay, we can develop ourselves into an Asian, century. Okay, thank you. Too much. Oh, what's wrong? Okay, no, next. Next. Now, BRI is not a debt trap, but a pie that can benefit both China and the recipient countries. Next. Now, who invented China's debt trap diplomacy? That is an Indian scholar, Brahma Chinani. Okay, next. This is where he first published his article. Next. Now, no. The American professors, they have done very deep analysis saying that the Chinese debt trap is a myth. It's not true. Next. This is the two professors. Next. Oh, New York Times, they also say it's not a debt trap. Next. Now, the Chatham House, the British, they also publish a very long report about China's, BRI is no debt trap, but an economic development initiative. Next. This is the picture. You can read it online. Okay, next. In Chinese, we say, 要致富先修路. Build road first if you want to become rich. Next. This is the railway China helped Tanzania and Zambia to build the road in 1960s. Now next. This is the road in Indonesia. Next. Now next. Now when is the China-Nepal railway? I hope next time I come to have a seminar in Kathmandu, the China-Nepal railway will be finished. Okay, we can have a China, Nepal, India corridor, and then if we still build up the railroad or the highway from Bangladesh to Pakistan, passing through Kathmandu, then I think Kathmandu will be South Asia's Brussels, and Nepal will turn itself into South Asia's Switzerland to enjoy prosperity and stability. Now next. Now China also has borrowed a lot of money to build the infrastructures. Now next. Again. History and reality have proved that no country can achieve prosperity only relying on foreign grants. Now that is one of your UML leaders. Now when the politicians, they discuss about BRI's loans, some friends say, oh no loans, only grants. Now this is the UML General Secretary's opinion. Next. This is the Rising Nepal's deputy editor. Okay, next. Now, not long ago, Prime Minister Ali says, no one else will develop Nepal. You should work yourself with China, India, the America, and all the other development partners support and help. Next. Now, this is also a leader and economist. Dr. Weigel said before Prime Minister Ali's China visit last December, he accused those political parties who refuse China's loans as immature. Okay, next. BRI is not donation, but win-win cooperation. That is the BBC Nepali News version, interviewed me when Prime Minister Ali started his China visit. Now, it was the screenshot. Next. Finally, I do believe Nepal can and surely will turn itself into South Asia's Switzerland and Kathmandu, South Asia's Brussels. A stable and prosperous Nepal will benefit the Nepali people and its two neighbors, as well as the whole South Asia. Nepal also can be a platform for win-win cooperation between China, India, the USA, and other countries. Let's work together and make the BRI cooperation and happy Nepali, prosperous Nepal's vision come into true as early as possible. Next time I come to Kathmandu for a seminar, maybe you are already a developed country. We can have more and more happy smiles and young children. Yesterday afternoon, my wife told me that, I found that so many people are much richer than she was here more than 15 years ago. Okay, we can see that the streets are much more clean and the people are more happier. That is, we have achieved. Why not work together to make Nepal a developed country instead of a developing country? Okay, that is my understanding about BRI cooperation with Nepal, a win-win path to Nepal's prosperity. If I have made some mistakes or offensive to any of you, please forgive me. It's all my fault. It has nothing to do with others. Thank you so much. Dari Dhanyabad. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for very elaborate presentation. Without any ado, I would like to request Mr. Tanzakaki to take the podium. And we have very limited time, so hopefully you will spare 10 minutes for us to discuss.
To this session. Through this presentation, what I am presenting here today, I'll try to provide with an overview of Belt and Road Initiative and its potential benefits for Nepal, while also addressing in short the challenges and consideration that need to be taken into account. Launched by China in 2013, the BRI is a global instrumental development strategy aimed at enhancing connectivity and cooperation among countries. Since then, more than 150 countries have already joined it. According to a report published by the World Economic Forum in 2022, Chinese enterprises and banking institutions have announced their participation in about 3,800 overseas projects under BRI since 2013, involving a total investment of US dollar 4.3 trillion. BRI is a grand vision for a shared prosperity and a win-win cooperation. It ultimately helps in building a community with shared future for mankind. Its BRI objective is to promote connectivity, economic cooperation, infrastructure development, and cultural exchange across participating countries. Nepal's participation in BRI, I'll provide a brief development process. Nepal signed a memorandum of understanding with China in 2017 to join the BRI. Nepal and China have officially signed the BRI cooperation framework during the Prime Minister KP Oli's visit to China in 2024. This development further advances Nepal's involvement in the Belt and Road Initiative. During his visit, both the countries agreed in the financial cooperation modality to go through the aid assistance financing. In the aid assistance financing was agreed upon by both countries. It means it paved the way for grant as well as loan. Probably it's a soft loan. Nepal and China have agreed to expedite the development of 10 projects in Nepal after signing the framework of BRI cooperation agreement that time. The two sides will now finalize the project-based agreements to implement these projects under the framework. I do not need to pronounce all those 9 projects here. You can see in the slides. Nepal can reap immense benefits from BRI cooperation, leading to strategic roads and infrastructure, can enhance greater economic and socio-cultural cultural cooperation, ultimately a boon for peace and prosperity in the Himalayan region. History is the mirror for every society and region. During Lichavi and Malla period, Nepal was prosperous, facilitating the trade between two giant neighbors. In fact, trans-Himalayan Silk Roads were roads of peace and prosperity, where great monks and saints traversed in search of finding goodness in human nature and societies. The major ancient religions were amalgamated and took the best of each other. When the roads were closed, fights were initiated among societies, and when fights were initiated, the roads were closed towards human brutality and darkness of the society by delinking the society. Thus, it is wiseness that roads have to be open, not closed. Nepal should not buy BRI as a debt trap, as evidenced by different countries does not provide the proof. High interest loan for short gestation period, high consultancy fee, and bureaucratic hurdles becomes ultimately much more expensive and even project unproductive. So, crucial infrastructure project with the productive link with short period of construction can pay back for the country and can stand for a long-term valuable assets. Country like Nepal can ask for China for a crucial gift project as a grant, but not refrain from loans. Instead, Nepal has to pursue China for soft loans and in addition for lengthening the long-term maturity of the repayment, roughly 30 to 40 years, because it may take 20 to 25 years to reap the benefits in terms of increased output. We should not forget that China, South Korea, and East Asian countries themselves were big bores of World Bank loan for crucial infrastructure building, so to transform their whole economy. Those projects were almost productive and successful. Sri Lanka debt trap is more tied with World Bank, ADB, and other international loans, basically in the subsector constitutes above 90% rather than BRI investment. Hambantota Port is the victim of political instability, bad governance, and project selection amid the geopolitical tension. Yet, this project has still scope to boost the Sri Lankan economy if it is properly handled. We need to carefully study Piraeus ports of Greece, African projects, productive forces, develop entrepreneurial environment, facilitates trades, bring technologies and amalgam cultures and civilizations together. All roads go Beijing is a wrong notion. The roads from Beijing ultimately goes to Delhi as well. Mumbai, Kathmandu, or Pokhara is a good thing for overall development of nations and humanity. All roads go to Rome was temporary phenomenon and never been one-way stocking, burgeoning European cities and thriving of whole nation and economy is a good example of how Europe achieved regional prosperity. But war among European nations and imperialist war, especially against outside world, may be just a bad reference. Thriving Asian continent in a peaceful way in the 21st century must coordinate with a thriving nation such as China in all economic development aspects. Neither from Chinese historical cultural viewpoint nor from the CPT standpoint to understand BRI projects as an imperialist hegemonistic tool or as a debt trap. Or as a debt trap diplomacy is either a misconception or a deliberate fallacy. Trans-Himalayan Silk Road as an environmental concern must be addressed with the sustainable way of road construction. As an evolving technological powerhouse and builder of cutting-edge technology, China should help provide techno solution to this issue. China's becoming leading green investor in the world. China invested 103 billion US dollar against the US 40 billion US dollar. It is 4 times more than the Germany and 10 times more than India. Those roads must be friendly and must support green growth in the region, along with developing green and renewable energies, organic farming, clean industrialization with green mountains, blue river, and ice-capped Himalayas. Though Belt and Road Initiative, Nepal can reap benefits. In addition, it can also play a pivotal role for not only the region, but for the global peace and prosperity. Nepal's harmonious culture, peace, religion, and peace-loving people can make conducive environment for regional peace and prosperity. Apart from this, Nepal is a unique destination of Shangri-La places and ecology in the Himalayas that are rare in other parts of the world. Nepal can facilitate shortest connecting points to join to great civilization and geographies, India and China. Nepal can further help enhancing connectivity through East-West Highway and proposed railways to connect India and other countries by BCIM corridor. Once India and China come to conclusion to connect each other. And I want to share to you that recently China and India are undergoing rapprochement. It's not only good for themselves, but also a good news for Nepal. Along with this, the world what we lived yesterday, it is significantly transformed. We are heading towards a multipolar world. And if the very core philosophy of this multipolarity will take care of the smaller countries, of the global south countries, their sovereignty, their national interest, their development, more seriously than in the past world order. The sense is at the door, and we should be hopeful. China is seriously adjusting its policy to meet the common aspirations of all people of the world. Nepal used natural resources with comparative advantage and demographic dividend of the Himalayan region and South Asia can be best developed the region as a growth center, joining Belt and Road Initiative. Nepal should adjust with economic, cultural, democratic, and technological powerhouse of the East, West, North, and South, adhering their multipolarity and finding the best interest of small vessels. We believe that Belt and Road Initiative is conducive for landlocked small vessels like Nepal, making them connecting nodes rather than cornered and victimized by powerful ones. For this, Nepal should learn to build a common cooperative platform of powerhouses rather than play with one against the other, and also not to be played by others. We hope that our joint efforts implementing the BRI projects with China's generous aid assistance will certainly push for new progress in advancing the Nepal-China strategic friendship, the Nepal-China strategic partnership of cooperation featuring everlasting friendship for development and prosperity. In the end, we need to be serious. We need serious commitment and concrete content rather than just having lip serving or slogan mongering. What we have faced in the past. We should prove ourselves as a serious student doing his homework in a timely manner, not remaining as a lazy, not remaining so self as a lazy student. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's how we have come to an end of the presentation, and I see they gave a very important take for us. Professor Buju emphasized the research on history, and then only we can see today why this present text is made. And he was very elaborative for that. Professor Wang Yunsong suggested Nepal to think about itself, not others, and not to go away in some kind of project assistance which also brings a chain to bind your feet. And he also therefore discussed a little bit about like BRI is not something that people think about, but this is a kind of a boon for Nepal to develop. And Professor Jan Shubin, it's always, he explains a lot of things. He knows Nepal, and then hopefully Nepal's political parties and the government will fulfill his wish to see more work and exact work of railway coming from Kerala to Kathmandu. And Chakaji very much rightly said, we should not play cards, but we have to have a cooperative platforms. So that's a very good message passed to that, but unfortunately we don't have much time. So we probably can take only one question to all of them, a question without lecture. Nobody is there? Okay.
नमस्कार सबैमा मेरो जिज्ञासा अनि प्रोफेसरले प्रस्तुत गर्दाखेरिको चाहिँ यो
कसले
उहाँले जुन हामीलाई यो रेलको चित्र देखाउनु यसमा अलिकति सानो जिज्ञासा छ मलाई। बन्दरगाहको सम्झौता गरेका छौँ, तर त्यो हाम्रो चाहिँ मतलब के भने केरमको नाका छोटो समयमा खोल्ने अनि बन्द हुने त्यसको उपयोगिता किन त्यस्तो भइरहेको छ, यसको दोषी को हो अनि एउटा यो क्लियर गरिदिनुपर्छ होइन, त्यसको नाकाको उपयोगिताको सन्दर्भमा। अनि
I take only one question because we have no time. This question goes to Professor Shumi regarding rail connectivity in Nepal. He finds some problem in the junction we have connecting China and Nepal, China, Sijan and Nepal. So this construction of the port, dry port over there, why is not very smoothly functioning? If you have any idea about it.
Okay, thank you for your question, and thank you for your interest in the China-Nepal BRI cooperation. You know, the Chinese government built the Anko Highway, that is the China-Nepal Highway, in 1960s. At that time, any government is angry about King Mahendra's decision to build the Anko Highway to link Nepal and China. You know, in that time, we Chinese were still very, very poor. So many people, they did not have food to eat. You know, my great-grandmother died of hunger in 1960s. Even though we Chinese built the Anko Highway, you know, with Chinese grants, everything. Now, why the Indian Prime Minister Libra opposed the highway? Because he thinks if the highway has been built, Nepal will not rely more on India. And he told King Mahendra that no need to connect Nepal with China. They're just we are one family. Okay? So King Mahendra told Nehru, the communism won't go to Nepal by taxi. Am I right? Yeah. So that is the historical background of the Anko Highway. Now, besides building the Anko Highway for Nepal as a gift of the Chinese government to Nepal people, when I was working here in Kasthamandap University, Confucius Institute, we Chinese teachers went to Kasa. You say Kasa, we say Zhang. To buy some food for the Spring Festival holiday. We found that the whole Anko Highway was built by the Chinese government, but only a very short section from Kathmandu to Bararam, no more than 11 kilometers. But there is a very, very large signboard, Nepal-Japan cooperation, the Tinkunan to Suryabana, the express highway. So then just now you mentioned that why the dry port cannot, run smoothly, mostly because of the earthquake. And then maybe because of the other things, I think. You know, we Chinese, I always say that because I am only a teacher, an English teacher, a Chinese language teacher in Nepal, in China. So my idea is that I will try my best to bridge the understanding gap between China and Nepal. We are always ready to help Nepal to achieve stability and prosperity. The problem is that when and if the Nepali people or government is willing to accept that support and help. So that is a big problem. Now, as for the triangle, from China, Nepal to India, I even talked about the China-Nepal Railway. Nepal can set up a trans-nation cooperation to attract investment, not only from China, but also from India, from America, from all the world. We input, we invest, and we share the benefits, we share the risks. And in this way, the Indian government and the United States government, they will not oppose the railway anymore. Maybe they can make some money, they can get benefits. So that is my idea. Maybe it is not so practical. I think if we work together, do our best, we do our best, you do your homework to make the BRI cooperation framework agreement come into two. Just now in the first presentation, there's only one, or at most of five, can come into two. I think all of them should come into two. Why not? Who is opposing that? Who is, stopping the Nepali friends from getting rich, from achieving stability and prosperity? Now you should know that. I hope China's candidates and goodwill can, meet with the Nepali political parties and Nepali citizens, cooperation. In this way, I think in the near future, Nepal can be South Asia's Brussels and Taiwan to Brussels, Nepal, South Asia, Switzerland. And next time maybe I can come to Kasthamandap by railway, not by airplane. Okay, thank you.
Okay, somebody else? To the three presents. Okay, that's it.
नमस्कार म चाहिँ नि आम लक्ष्मी बस्नेत a PhD scholar in Nepal-China political and military relation. I have one query which goes to Mr. Dankakari, former ambassador to China. My question is, curiosity is, BRI is the new version of Silk Road, started in the beginning of the 7th century. It enhanced diplomatic trade and togetherness with mutual unity, national unity, in the perspective of the national unity. On the other hand, this BRI and bilateral relations, including diplomatic, economic, and togetherness, seem weaker position. No national unity in BRI. So that I would be grateful if you could highlight on the reasons and viable suggestions for BRI's bright future in Nepal. Thank you.
हामीसँग विकासका जुन आकांक्षा छन् ती आकांक्षालाई फलीभूत गर्नको निम्ति हाम्रो आफ्नो भएको रिसोर्स मात्रै काफी छैन। आज दुनियाँको कुनै पनि मुलुक
आइरन कर्टेनभित्र रहेर आफ्नो विकासको सपना देख्छ भने त्यो मिथ्या सपना हो। त्यसको निम्ति बाह्य सहयोग जरुरी छ। चाइना आफैको आजको विकासलाई फर्केर हेर्ने हो भने चिनियाले अघि यहाँ मेरो मित्र हुँदै हुनुहुन्थ्यो, त्यो पुँजी र बाह्य सहयोग भित्राउनको निम्ति बिरालोको रङ कस्तो छ भनेर हेरिरहेको। पहिलो कुरो आफ्नो निज राम्ररी केलाएर त्यसमा कमिटमेन्ट हुने हो र त्यसको निम्ति आफ्नो अपुरो रिसोर्सको निम्ति बाह्य सहयोग लिनको निम्ति हामीले हिचकाचाड गर्नु हुँदैन। त्यसो भयो भने मलाई लाग्छ कि हामी यसबाट राम्रो बेनिफिट लिन सक्छौँ। थ्याङ्क यू। नो डाउट हाम्रो आफ्नो पनि आफूले छानेको प्रोजेक्ट अनि त्यसको निम्ति मलाई घाउ छ खुट्टामा भने मलाई माग्न सकिन्छ साथीहरूसँग। आफै मात्र डक्टर बन्नु हुँदैन, अरूसँग भएको टेक्नोलोजी बुद्धिलाई पनि प्रयोग गर्न सकिन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ।
मलाई लगाउन पनि उसैले बनाउनु हुँदैन। एउटा मात्रै क्वेसन हामी लिन्छौँ, जम्मै एकजनालाई मात्रै लिन्छौँ।
This is Dr. Kibaran from Prosperous Law campus. I work as the head of department of political science. I have queries to Professor Wang Yuan. We talked much about BRI and its significance in South Asia and all over the world. What I want to ask you is, what could be the intellectuals' role to elaborate the pure benefits from the BRI project, as there is a debate on the grants as well as the win-win projects. Could you elaborate, please, Professor Wang Yuan? Thank you.
This question is like, how can we ensure that we can have a win-win situation?
So thank you very much for your question. When we are talking about win-win cooperation between Nepal and China, as I mentioned last time when I visited Kathmandu, win-win means Nepal wins and China wins. Okay? It does not mean China wins twice. It neither means that Nepal wins all and China gets nothing. And to ensure a win-win cooperation between our two countries, I think there are several things that we should really care about. First thing that if we decide to move ahead with certain projects, we need speedy implementation because time means money. Time means efficiency. That's our Chinese belief. If we keep postponing the project, that means the contractors, the investors are losing heavily. That's one thing. The other thing is that the win, either on the side of Nepal or on the side of China, means that we care about each other's sensitivity. It does not necessarily mean that we have to take, great profits out of the projects. But on certain fronts, we need certain degree of commitment and guarantee from our Nepalese partner that our national security will be taken care of. So win-win cooperation between Nepal and China means a lot of things. And this is a topic we can have more deliberation and debate some other time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a question from Gopal Mara, but probably it may need little longer time. So during launch time, I think Maralji can come to Janshudin and can discuss for a couple of minutes. So with this, we already have crossed time and violating human rights approved. So therefore, I would like to thank all 4 presenters making very tremendous presentation and giving a very clear message. Also would like to thank organizers to giving me this opportunity for people like me, because I'm a professor who loves to speak more than listen. But this is also a good training. Thank you very much. So thanks for cooperation.